Hemp Wizard's signature series artists are Walking Corpse Syndrome, So High, Black Sasquatch, Fester, You can give your beard the magic touch by going to hempwizard.net today and rock out with your... Just kidding.
Get ready! Get ready! Get ready!
And that is my cue to start the show. Welcome to another live edition of the Hard Rock & Sports Show, live from high atop the new Hard Rock & Sports Studios in beautiful Florida. And welcome to Thursday night, March the 21st of the year of our good Lord, 2024. And guys, hope you guys have had a good week. I've been on vacation, so I am having a great week. And I'm looking forward to doing an abbreviated version of the show tonight with my good buddy Jeff. And maybe some special guests popping in. So sit back, sit tight, and let's see if we can bring you a little bit of good old-fashioned news and music talk, sports talk, right here at the Hard Rock Sports Show. So let me bring on my partner in crime, man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jeff Skunk Talwinski. What's up, Jeff?
What are you doing, man?
Just sitting here right now, relaxing. And,
Were you in Florida?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Down in FLA. Yep, down in FLA, enjoying a little vacation time. And
well, what you should be doing down there, to be honest with you, is picking a new team to the root for, because the Giants are just a disgrace. A shell of themselves.
Is that really how you want to start this off? Is that really how you want to start this?
Dude, I'm jumping on your voice box.
Well, let's start the way we always start the show. Jeff, how's your week?
Well, my week was good because it's over. But
Sure.
I'm going to deflect this a little bit.
Why is that?
Because I asked you to check out a movie, and it turns out you did.
I did.
So I want to get your review on Godzilla 2000, which turned out to be an extension of Godzilla from back in 1973. I really believe.
I would totally agree with that. It was, I've tried to watch some of the more modern Godzillas, and definitely not. I can't too much AI, too much animation, fake, computer generated stuff. While I know this movie was kind of the same, it was a real big throwback with the way the voices didn't match up. The premise was completely ridiculous. But I would highly, if you're a fan of growing up, Jeff might remember the 4:30 movie.
Of course. The 4:30 movie, Channel 7 every day.
And Monster Week. And this is that movie was an absolute throwback, and I'm sitting there watching it, going, "Why am I watching? This is horrendous." I mean, there was no storyline, there was no, and then you realize there is a storyline, and you go, "This is great. This is just like the old time movies."
Yeah, there was no AI.
Yes.
There was no CGI.
Yes.
There was no nothing.
Just a guy in a rubber suit running around knocking things over.
Everybody was an actor, including Godzilla.
Just a guy running around in a rubber suit knocking stuff over.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
It was like they were at Al Albanese's house flipping over his train set.
Yeah. Me and the dog came across that one on Saturday night.
I was just going to ask you because I know you're not much of a TV guy. How the hell did you find that?
I was goofing off. I was looking for something to watch, and we went on to In Demand, and we were just scrolling through to see what was available, and then all of a sudden there it was. And me and the dog were like, she's curled up in a ball, and I was like, she's in her bedtime spot. So I put the blanket over her. I'm under the blankets watching this, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, this is great. This is absolutely great. And that's when I started texting you because out of everybody we know,
yeah,
you're the only other moron that'll sit and watch this stuff. So I'm like, I got to let him know because this is great. And that's what
it took me a week to get to it, but last night we were sitting there, and I had found it. I had to go find it, and I'll tell you a fast one. So I go to find it. I find it, and I clicked it once, so that way it's on my previously watched list, so it's easy to find. And I watched it last night. I texted you that I watched it. I go on this morning, and HBO has that movie on this week. It's like it's right there. I was like, holy shit! And Adam, there's a new version of Godzilla and King Kong that's come out in the movies. I won't get it. It's too computer generated. It's too, I don't know what you want. I have no interest in it. But Jeff's right. This is kind of like 1973 Godzilla all over again with the rubber suit and the small scale trains. It was absolutely fantastic. And again, very little plot other than Godzilla is tearing things up. They're going to kill him, and then there's a twist.
Well, you know what the plot was?
Yes, I figured it out toward the end that the UFOs were looking to take over the Earth, and he was taking out all the power sources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
To do this.
Yes, and that's and Louis, that's the best part of this is like a lot of the modern versions that they have like American actors or they have regular actors and it's regular dialogue. This was. Some guy in China says 3 words, and then the English version it's like 3 sentences, and he's still talking, and it just nothing matches up.
No,
if you're a fan of the 4:30 movie from the 1970s with Monster Week and Army Week, this is an absolute gotta watch. But you have to suspend all thoughts of a good movie and just watching the classic. Yes, it's Godzilla 2000, Adam. Absolutely correct.
Made in 1999.
Yes, it's if you're a fan of those movies, it's an absolute. And it's funny, I have DVR'd early this week. After you told me, I found I don't know if it's the original Godzilla, but 1954 with Raymond Burr.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
I was in that one. Holy shit, that was 1954?
54. I have it DVR'd. Wow. And I started watching it, and I didn't know. My dad told me. My dad's down here with us, that movie was made in Japan, and to make it Americanized, so Americans will watch it, they redid the movie and added the scenes with Raymond Burr in it to make it American. But he was never in the original version of that. I'm gonna look it up, but that's my dad tells me.
Wow. And I remember one of the greatest Godzilla soundtracks was in there. That's when it was like.
Yes.
And they just kept adding to that, like this real ominous music.
It's again, guys, if you're looking for an old classic bad movie, this is it. It's just old. Again, you can see it's a guy running around in a rubber suit, and he's just knocking shit over that's somewhat to scale. But worth the watch. So, Jeff, thank you for pointing me in the right direction. It was definitely worth the watch.
I had to.
I'll give you another one. So last Saturday we flew out, and Friday night we flew out to Florida, and I'll get on the plane, and on the planes now you have the ability to watch satellite TV. Sometimes a little sketchy, but you can watch satellite TV. I'm flipping, and what do I find? Spinal Tap. So I watched the entire Spinal Tap on the way down to Florida last Friday. So
Nice.
that's how my vacation started. I said, this is a good sign. When you're on a plane headed to Florida and you can catch Spinal Tap, life is good.
Yeah, I hear that. My dog is lost right now up here. She got all of a sudden I see this next to me. A stuffed animal that I bought my wife that looks like the dog.
Yes.
It's all wet because the dog wanted to make sure that I saw her with it. So somehow she came across it. And she's back over here looking for it. Get over here, you. Hey.
So we are expecting my dad's going to probably pop up, but also my good buddy, the doctor himself, is going to be popping in at about 20 minutes or 15 minutes. It's been nice. We haven't seen Carmine around since his car accident and his heart operations, and so we're going to there he is popping in the background. His dad.
Hey, Jeff.
How are you, Mr. Florio? What's going on?
Not much, buddy. How is it? It's nice and warm here. Thank God.
Well, today is a bad day over here, to be honest with you.
We heard.
Whole day that we've had, like you wouldn't believe, and everybody was like, but it was spring. It's springtime. When it doesn't matter what it is, it's nature, man.
Hey, Paul Gill popped up. Paul's going to say hi.
Hello, Paul. How are you?
So so we just
have a good day. Enjoy.
Hi, Pops.
Where's he going? Get him, come get him to sit in with us, man. Come on, what the fuck?
I think he's a little tired. We went to Sharon's cousin's restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Dad had a big veal chop for dinner, so he's a little tired right now.
So what'd you do? You fed him, put him in a comfy chair, and that's it?
Pretty much. Hey, I want to talk a little bit while I see Paul's up there. This I don't know if you pay attention much to the baseball stuff, but Shohei Ohtani, there seems to be a little bit circulating about $5 million in bets being made. And
it is that he made.
Well, that seems to be now that people pointing fingers at a cover up, and they're saying first it was that his interpreter stole $5 million.
Yeah, I saw that.
Bet, which sounded funny to me. Today's day and age, the interpreter getting a hold of that stuff and making $5 million of bets sounds awfully fishy. Now they're putting it out there that they're starting to be a little bit people accusing a cover up, and they're thinking that he's making bets, and now they're worried that is he betting on baseball? Is he going to get the life sentence? I think it's a little early in the game, but I got to tell you, Jeff, this would be a major blow to baseball and a huge blow to the Dodgers, who pay him a ton of money, almost $1 billion, to play baseball. And now, if this is hanging over their heads, I wonder where this is headed.
Well, you got to ask yourself the question: is Pete Rose the all-time hits leader that can't even get into the Hall of Fame because of betting on baseball? Now, what happens with this guy? What do they do with him? How do you not ban him?
Well, it seems like they're going to use the story that it was the interpreter, and the interpreters maybe will be taking the fall for this with some sort of compensation. Now, again, this is all accusations. This is all online rumor, but it did. When I first heard about the story, I thought it was a little odd, that this guy was stealing $5 million and placing bets in a state where you can't make bets.
Well, listen, a lot of this stuff happens, and listen, it doesn't shock me that he was stealing money to make bets. So let's stick. The reason I say it that way is let's stick with the story until proven otherwise.
True, okay? Yeah, absolutely right. But the whispers are out there.
No, I hear you. And if that's what he's doing, why lose the money? Why lose the money? He must be betting big. He's not betting $5 prop bets here.
No.
He's not. This has been going on for a while, I would imagine.
He's not our friend Matt Salitri, that's for sure.
Yeah. So I would think.
Yeah.
If you got $5 million missing, this didn't just start a couple weeks ago, and this has been going on for a while. I
would certainly agree with that. I would certainly agree with that. But we got a lot to do. We ain't going to do a lot of time tonight. We'll probably stick around till about 8. Want to spend a little time my last night or two here. So But again, Godzilla 2000, absolutely worth it. If you're a fan of the 4:30 movies from the 70s, stick it out, have a beer. Godzilla 2000. Jeff is the official film critic of the show, and he put me on to a funny one, and it was well worth the time and effort. So
Let's stick on this real quick, because if we don't have much time, I don't really want to get too involved with anything.
Sure.
If you remember the Monster Week, right?
Sure.
What was your favorite all-time monster movie back then when you were a kid? Because there was a lot of them.
Yeah. Oh man, I want to say definitely Godzilla, and I was a King Kong fan. That was never my favorite. Godzilla. I want to say it was like Godzilla and Mothra, something in that vein.
Well, I gotta say,
with the twin Chinese girls.
Yeah, God, they were annoying. They were annoying.
Yes, that might have been my favorite one. What was yours?
Definitely Godzilla versus King Kong.
Oh, okay.
That was probably the best fight sequence and everything. Gamera, I remember Gamera being black and white for the most part.
Yes.
And even though it was a cool concept, a turtle with flames shooting out of its arms and legs, and Mothra, it was a big moth. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Godzilla's this huge lizard. You couldn't take out this moth?
Well, I'm not so sure about that, but they had annoying. They were kind of like Yoko Ono's kids. They sang, they sang so horribly. So
Yeah.
Hey,
Mothra used
if you
to
guys ever get a chance, look up John Lennon, Chuck Berry on the Mike Douglas show. Is that not the funniest? Did you ever watch Chuck Berry's face when Yoko starts to do whatever it is she does? It is absolutely the greatest thing ever. If you haven't seen it, Google Yoko Ono, John Lennon, Chuck Berry. Oh my God.
Did you know that she's still alive?
Yes.
And 2, she's in her fucking 90s.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt that. Catalano just showed up. There he is.
Yeah, there he is. Hey, listen, I think your dog is chewing some wires. Go fucking check on it.
Well, we got much time. The doctor is here. Let's get the doctor on. We haven't had him for a while. We'll get a little Mets and Jets with him. We'll do a little. I do want to talk about the Steelers and some odd quarterback stuff for the Steelers this week.
You know what I want to talk. I want to talk about how the Denver Broncos don't have a quarterback.
That's
and
true.
Probably can't afford one. I heard they're signing the guy from McKee.
Well, it's possible, but listen, our good buddy, the doctor, is finally in the house. He's been recuperating from a series of problems and some heart issues and a car accident.
He had a car accident too?
He had a car accident. Yeah, I think that's what started this whole thing. Is he broke some ribs and had a really bad car accident, and then I think it led into the whole thing. But let's get him on. Let's see what he has to say and see if he's back with the same venom he was before all of this. There he is, the good doctor himself.
Oh, proverbially, what happened to me was getting fucked without getting kissed. Most of you married men could fucking attest to this.
Carmine, we welcome you back. It's nice to see you. It's been a while.
Gentlemen, Jeff, how are you? Tommy, what's going on, fellas?
Nothing much.
How you feeling?
I know
I'm
that
feeling good.
Yankee camp is littered with bodies, and the doctor has been. That's it. The eye is back.
The fucking hammer.
He's been dropping bombs. But Carmine, let's start. Let's go the easy route.
Giants.
Let's talk a little Jets first.
Okay.
Let's talk a little about the Jets. A quiet off season until the last week. Interesting signings, maybe diamonds in the rough with Tyron Smith and Mike Williams, 2 guys. Mike Williams coming off major surgery, and
I'm getting al dente.
Now, do you guys? I'll start with Carmine since he's the guest. Carmine, as a Jet fan, 2 weeks ago you were probably cursing Joe Douglas for doing nothing. This week signs a couple of veterans. What do you think?
I was cursing his mother, his father, his sister. I was wishing crabs and fucking all sorts of ridiculous venereal diseases to him and his fucking family. And he shocked me. Now, again, unlike last year where I was fucking Mike Johnson was harder than Chinese arithmetic, not this year. I feel better about the team, but I'm not feeling like I did last year where I had my hopes and 4 fucking plays in. I got this and it was not even one thumb. It was like fucking a cascade, a carnival of fucking thumbs smashing the fucking burger. I was in shock for about a month.
Up to here.
Well, I mean, Jeff,
yes, to the fucking shoulder, me, yeah, baba. And they were pulling out meals I ate 2 years ago.
Louis Pica says he's already offended by your politically incorrect comments. I just want you to know, Louis is a little offended. That's what he wanted to tell you.
Louis is Susan. He's got to know. Louis, Susan Wagner was no big hero. She was a hoa. That's exactly what Phil D'Angelo, one of our football coaches, said. It made a lot of sense to me.
Jeff, your Jeff, your thoughts. Last week on the show, you were blasting Joe Douglas. Do you feel any better? You have 7 draft picks.
No,
now you've signed
13-year
veteran and Tyron Smith, and of course Mike Williams. Are you feeling any better about your team?
I don't feel any better. You signed a receiver that has a leg that's healing up. You signed. The only thing I could see, the only silver lining is you got 2 guys from the offensive line from Baltimore, where Lamar Jackson seemed to have had
it's a better line. I know what you're saying. Believe me, it's not like they landed guys that are going to be starting for the next fucking 10 years. They didn't. But
it's not even that. These guys are made of paper mache.
Oh, they all are, dude. They all are.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. The only thing they didn't sign them to long-term expensive deals. They got them to 1-year deals, 2-year deals. So it's not going to be too bad. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But you notice you already won the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Okay? It's not even April yet, and we already got the trophy.
I don't believe that. I've had too many of these and much too many of these to not have these eyes open.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Somebody made the statement this week that the Jets, this might be the most talented Jets team they've ever seen.
And if it's where I think it came from, you saw my fucking response to that.
Yes, I did. I did see your response. But when you look back and if this team takes the field in and it stays healthy, is this the most talented Jets team you guys have seen?
I still think that the teams that went to back-to-back championship games in the early 2000s teams.
That was my only fucking ray of hope in my miserable, years of rooting for this motherless fucking team.
If that Pittsburgh game was 3 minutes longer, the Jets go to the Super Bowl, dominate for the next 5 years. That momentum would carry them over for 5 years easily. I don't care what anybody says.
I'll do some.
Take one. I'll take one that I could see and then fucking put me in the dirt. I'm like a cat. I was in the fucking car accident. I had that triple bypass. How did I break my ribs? They couldn't get the fucking artery. They got 2 arteries out of my arm. I thought they got the other one out of my leg. They had to get the other one while they got my hole spread open, and they fucking broke the rib because they were reaching for an artery. So I got this even when I was fucking under 7.5 fucking hours. I still fucking got that.
Oh my God, dude! At least you're all right, and you're sitting there, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, I planned it, meaning emotionally, I'm like, okay, I'm fucked. I got to get these arteries clear. So when he said to me the 3 arteries on the left side of my heart were completely fucked, I'm like, so is this something similar to what the Jets happened this season? And the guy looked at me, he didn't know nothing about it. Well, I forget about it.
Let's say this is the team that goes to battle, guys. This is it. Let's say they get a couple good draft picks.
This is your best shot.
You guys, last year you were excited. Would you be excited with a nice freshly minted wide receiver in the draft.
How the fuck can you be excited, Tom? No matter what you're about to say, how could you be excited? Last year, when it ended after 4 fucking plays, four
plays, man.
plays. They didn't even
Four.
get 4 fucking
See the
plays.
4? And this right here, the thumb chaser, that was the fucking part that took him off the field.
A couple there they go flying by. It's like,
The good doctor's back with us, and we're here.
It's like your kid learning how to ride a bike as soon as he get his braces taken off and he falls and lands on his teeth.
Across his teeth.
All I can think is, yeah, come on.
Like, so if he goes down like that, if he has the braces on for fucking, for 2 years, 3 years, cracks his fucking teeth, now he's got summer teeth. Some are here and some are there. That's considered Jackson, New Jersey, where we used to live. Most of the people live.
And right at the gum line, too, so you can't even save them.
Listen, I got to think that it's got to be all uphill from here. It can't be downhill again.
Tell me this one. I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay. I said they actually did something where they have people. I'm not saying, the team's set or anything. I'd love to get Bowers. I'd love for them to trade down or trade up to get Harrison, or I wouldn't mind the trade back. What I don't want to fucking see is if the guy they're looking for gets taken, trade the fuck back. Don't give me this fucking stand there and pick up what's that douchebag's name they signed in the first round last year after they got fucking fifth fucked?
McDonald.
Yeah. Like fucking. Was it old McDonald or fucking? Which one was?
Let me ask you this one. Jeff and I talked about this last week, and I had some fun with it. Rogers running for VP. I still haven't seen him say.
Here we go. No, stop being a miserable jerk-off Giant fan. He came out and fucking said it. So stop being a bot. You're being a bot, Tom, like this.
Gotta have some fun. Tell him, Louis. I didn't hear him say he wanted to do it. So let's move over to the Jet. Guys, speak up.
Jeff, how hard did your dick get when fucking Barkley went over to Philadelphia? It was fucking wonderful. It was beautiful. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Somebody, I won't say who, but somebody got a text almost immediately when I saw that.
I did. Listen,
I'm sure you got it.
For 30 seconds, it bothered me, and then I went, I'm not giving them $13 million a year. Good for them.
Yeah, you know what would be great? This would be the poetic justice of it all. Let's see the Jets play the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Let's see them go to triple overtime. Let's see Barkley get 450 yards on the ground and another 10 yards receiving, 7 touchdowns, and the Jets win by 1 point. That would be
Listen, I signed for that. I'd actually smash your testicle for that, Jeff.
Hey, let's move on to the Mets for a few minutes. And I find it weird when everyone says, "Wow, one big move and we could be a wild card team." Like that's
they suck donkey dick. They're fucking horrible. They got no fucking championship.
Hey, what do you?
If they win 82 games, I'd be shocked.
I gotta ask. I mean, aren't they scheduled to win the World Series in May, like they do?
Who's that?
The Mets.
First of all, not even last year did I say they were going to win the Super Bowl, World Series with that fucking bunch of stiffs they had. And listen, I was so happy we didn't sign DeGrom. And what the fuck happened to him? I dropped this. I burned fucking ornaments that I got from them and burned them in the fucking yard. Burned it, blowtorch the fucking thing. The way I was. What's that?
As a Met fan, I know you were happy with Steve Cohen as the owner a few years ago.
Sure.
But when you're going into the rotation this year, right? And your rotation is Quintana, Severino, Tyler McGill, Manaea, and Hauser. It's a far cry from Scherzer, Verlander,
Hold on. Scherzer, Verlander were nowhere to be found for fucking 80% of the year last year.
Agreed.
Scherzer had this. The other guy wasn't bad, but here's something that the Yankee owner would never fucking do. Oh, we're going to keep fucking that moron that you had to play third base for 2 years. Paid him $25 million a year. You wouldn't swallow it like my fucking owner did. No, we're going to keep playing him. Donaldson, what the fuck? It might as well have fucking signed you and me to play third base the way he was, that fucking blowjob.
Well,
but what did I want to do?
Donaldson is actually retired now, so listen, I'm not happy with the owner of the Yankees either, but I was, 3 years ago, if you had told me that in year 5 or going into year 6, if that's what it is this year, that Steve Cohen, who was looking to buy up everybody.
It's going into year 5, but thank you for fucking exaggerating like typical Yankee fans. Got to always make it worse. Like that fucking bald-headed queer that fucking just retired, Mo Hediman. His real name is. Yeah, fuck you, Blow Hediman. Why don't you go fucking fondle a little boy? You're good at that.
Well, I would just say I was a little surprised, and then well, let me start with this. I'm gonna run down the lineup with Nimmo and Lindor, but Alonso, are you on the camp of paying Alonso now?
That would be the smart thing to do. And I'm not talking about turn around and give that jerk off fucking $300 million. If the other guy from Atlanta got 160, that's his fucking problem. And that's your problem now as a first baseman. So, sign him for you. They should have done, give him $250 million and say, shut the fuck up. It's for 8 years. If you can find better out there, but at least make some sort of fucking offer. Because where are you going to get 40 fuck? He's not a great player, but he's a fucking Met. And he's averaging over 40 fucking homers a year.
I got it, but comment. Here's the way I look at it. Here's a guy who really is not a great first baseman, right?
That's wrong. He is. No, he makes a fucking lot of plays.
At best, he's an average first baseman. At best.
He's above average. He's not Keith Hernandez. He's not fucking Don Mattingly. Not even close. But they thought he was fucking horrible. And the guy makes plays. You don't fucking.
3 years ago, if there's a DH 3 years ago, he's the DH and Dom Smith's playing first base every day.
He should be, but Dom Smith sucked. They fucking wanted to give him the job.
But that only because he wanted to keep his bat on. But here's a guy who hits home runs, doesn't hit for average, right? Is not a great fielder.
Well, last year was his worst year, baby. Last year was his worst year.
But here's the thing: you really want to give a guy like that 8 years. Look what happened with Wright. You give a guy who's a good ball player that kind of money, and it saps the rest of your team. And that's the problem.
Right, but it's not going to be the case with this dude because he isn't getting fucking $40 million a year. Who the fuck's if he's going to get $40 million a year, hit the fucking pavements.
Well,
but it ain't going to be.
That's the point. If you offered him $40 million a year, he wouldn't wait till free agency. And the Mets are. I think Steve Cohen's doing the right thing. I think Cohen's doing the right thing. There's a lot of guys, Bellinger, a bunch of guys did not get the money they wanted. And
right.
I think so I think it's a smart move by the Mets, letting him go out there and say, hey, go have a great year and then go get your money and maybe we'll match it, maybe we won't. And
dude, I don't mind that as much. I really don't.
All right, so would it kill you if he left in the offseason for a big contract?
No.
With me,
if it's a cheap contract, I'll be fucking pissed. If it's like, well, he got $25 million a year from so-and-so for 2 years, then I say you're a fucking asshole. You played this whole game, you should have traded him. But I know what I do enjoy. There's a certain guy who is one of the best ball players that have ever landed in this planet, and here he is with vaginal issues. Oh, yeah, I got an abdominal. I'm going to take a few fucking days off. Summer beating. What the fuck did they call it? Get the
Yes.
fuck out of here with this
I
guy.
agree, listen, I'm happy to agree with you. I'm very down on some of these guys, and Judge is one of them. Is this 6'6", 6'8", 270-pound guy,
Fucking
and,
beast. Beast.
and I got to hear he's sore. He can't play because he's sore. Yeah,
He's got the toe. He's got the toe. He's got the back. He's got the fucking rib. He's got the fucking abdominal. He's got the vagina. I mean, what the fuck? And then you get the other guy. Oh, yeah. So I'm listening to Brandon Taney this morning, and he's on fire. Oh, the Yankees, they're going to the World Series. You can't tell me. I'm like, you scored 12 runs against the Pittsburgh fucking Pirates, and he had 3 fucking home runs. Oh, and Judge showed up and had a double. So most of you, look at Judge, he put something in your eye, come on. And then you put your sister's box in your fucking eye, you fucking idiot. They didn't do it. Well, oh, he played a half a game after 10 fucking days. Get the fuck out of here.
I am completely with you on that. I'm very down on Judge on that.
All right, now, one other question about that kind of reminds me of a certain right-hander that pitched for the Mets, that it was the forearm, the elbow, the shoulder. Let the fucking, they either go fix it. He's going to have, I'm not saying it's going to be a bad year. If he does come back, he's going to wind up fucking it up. And I guess he needs a tear for them to stop.
Well, listen, the Yankees did have some success when I'm trying to get.
Tanaka?
Yes, Tanaka pitched.
They got lucky, dude.
So yeah, they've had some success with it. I would listen to me if there's a question. Have the surgery, come back next year, be 100%, because then this thing lingers into next year, and you're gonna rob 2 years of it. So I'm with you.
Exactly, and that's the part. Like again, when we didn't sign DeGrom, I'm like, if someone wanted to give him that token.
Yeah. I agree. DeGrom's one of the best pitchers I ever saw.
Ever saw. Yeah.
But you got to stay on the field. Otherwise, it ain't worth it, and that's the problem with DeGrom. But listen, I don't know. But so going in now, this is your team. Nimmo, Lindor, Alfonso, McNeil, Marte.
Yeah, what a great team. Great team.
I mean, to me, this is not the Mets team I thought you'd see 2 or 3 years ago, but not a terrible team. But you're still saying 82 wins and you'd be thrilled?
82 wins is more optimistic than I think I need to be. Yeah, well, there's a lot of fucking ifs before you could start saying maybe they could pick up a wild card. Because are they beating the fucking Braves out? They're not better than the Braves. They're not better than the Phillies. So the best bet that they got is to somehow squeak in to the second wild card or the third wild card there. That's their best bet. And, what they fucking are afraid to add on to this team. And, you got, one of, the fucking Martinez out there, but you're going to sit there and say, no, we want to see what Vientos is going to give. I think it's a mistake, and I think Beatty's a fucking blowjob too. So I don't know what the fuck you're going to get out of these guys. But here's what it comes down to, Tom. Next year is really going to be the answer. Jeff, tell me if you agree with this. They're talking all this shit, and I got to say, they said they were going to stick to a plan this year. And I thought that after they were trying to get the fucking monkey who got his tits lit again today.
Oh, yeah.
The fucking
lit up.
And how about, dude? I heard you guys talking about Ohtani. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? So in 5 minutes after the fucking press release comes out, it's that, he sent the money. They're like, well, wait a minute. The lawyer's got an asshole. You're just setting yourself up this is a felony. You got to pull back from that. Oh, no. Well, the money was stolen from me. I knew this guy was going to be a fucking scapegoat when they said, they're changing their team. So he's a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, he may be. Yeah, because think about if he got kicked out of baseball or suspended, the uproar, the cost, it would be phenomenal. And I can't even imagine what that
I would love it. I would love it.
Absolutely.
All I'm saying, if the Mets signed him, oh my God, him and the other guy, the shit I would be getting pounded like fucking veal. So I'm glad they're not here. And I'll say this: if Otani is guilty of this, fucking nail him on it. Go back to fucking Japan and start eating your fucking the ramen, fucking noodles, and fucking rice. That's all you're getting. Because if you can keep Pete Rose out, the greatest fucking player that I ever fucking saw as a tough fucking dude, and you're gonna keep him out, then you better fucking do. If I see them go, we're not gonna do anything to him. We got rid of his interpreter. That's what I'm gonna say. You know what? Fuck them all. I won't buy another ticket for a baseball game the rest of my fucking life.
Yeah, you're not gonna tell me that the interpreter stole $5 million. I ain't buying it. I just ain't buying it. But we'll see.
Right.
We'll see what happens. Carmine, before you go, give me a prediction for both teams, to your Jets and your Mets. No, leave the Jets alone. It's just too early. Give me the Yankees and the Mets for this year. Mets 82 games in a wild card. Are they getting a wild card? Are they not getting? You gotta give me.
No, I'm going to say the Mets are 79 wins, and they'll just do. We're going to get them next year, and then we'll find out if the owner goes after nobody next year, then this is the Wilpons, and then I'll never fucking get my hopes up again. That's the Mets. The Jets, I feel they're going to make the playoffs this year. Are they going anywhere? Probably not. But if they don't make the playoffs this year, they better fucking A-bomb that place over there.
Well, I think that's a very big possibility. Yeah, I would tell you if they don't make the playoffs and probably a very deep run, if they sneak into a wild card and get crushed, I would think you're
Then you got to go to
in Jetland. So we'll see. Carmine, listen, my brother, we love you. We thank you for coming on, and of course we'll get you on along the way.
Sounds great. Enjoy your vacation. Jeff, it's nice talking to you boys. I'll talk to you soon.
Nice to see
Set the
you.
ball. Bye,
Hey,
Jeff.
pal, that's Tom Manuch, our good buddy. Haven't had the doctor on in a while here. As always, Jeff, plenty to say.
Yeah. He was a little.
Let's run through a bunch of stuff, Jeff. I got a couple things for you. You've been watching these Mike Tyson and what's his name, Jake Paul videos. I saw one where Jake Paul was sitting on a bench and standing up, throwing a punch, sitting down, throwing, and then you watch the Mike Tyson ones. I can't imagine that this can be any sort of a decent fight. Have you seen these videos?
Yeah, I've seen them. I've been posting them too, and
Yes.
the one with Tyson working out, they're doing an interview, and the guy doing the video said that him working out, them showing him working out, that's one thing, but this is worse. And it was an interview, and Mike Tyson was crying in the interview.
Yes.
He said he's afraid of what he's reaching back for and what could happen. And it was just the way he put it. He was like, I miss that guy. I miss him. Sometimes I think I'm a bitch because he's not around anymore. And if he comes out, he's bringing hell with him. If I was Jake Paul, I'm calling somebody. I'd be like, I'm out.
I just tripped in the shower. We got to postpone this thing.
Yeah.
No, here's my only problem. And I love the Mike Tyson videos. I think they're great. But, Mike Tyson, the last 4 or 5 fights of his career, or last half dozens, weren't great. He got beat a bunch of times. Where was the beast then? 20-something years later, why is the beast there now?
Why is the beast there now? That's a good question. And I think I'm going to tell you why.
God.
Okay. I feel as though that when it comes to Mike Tyson, at this point in time in his life, I think he misses what he once was, misses what he once had.
Yep.
And it's still within reach for him to reach back and get it, because boxing, and especially the heavyweight division, is definitely not what it once was.
No.
He was around with a lot of, whether you want to admit it or not, or anybody wants to admit it or not, probably not such an impressive lineup since the 70s in the heavyweight division.
Right.
When you had Ali and Frazier and Foreman and, all of those guys. You had Lennox Lewis, Riddick Bowe, Evander Holyfield, George Foreman. You had a lot of fucking good fighters back then in the early 90s. And Tyson, listen, his mind wasn't in it. That's all there was to it. His mind was not in it. and he went out and he got hurt. He couldn't beat Holyfield. He lost a couple other matches. Now I think he's calmed down. He's definitely had some time away from the fight game, and he realizes he missed it. I think he realizes he went out the wrong way, and here's his chance. I mean, listen, Jake Paul. It's no way. There's no way that he's going to lose to Jake Paul.
Well, let me ask you so, but even if he goes out and beats the crap out of Jake Paul, who is 20 or 30 years his junior, I think he's 27, Tyson 57, so 30 years his junior. Where does that put Mike Tyson's legacy at that point? Like what?
I don't think that this is. They could say whatever they want. I don't think that this fight could be taken seriously as okay, now all of a sudden Mike Tyson is number 4, the number 4 contender in the
no, definitely not.
Something of that nature. But what I think it's going to do is it's going to open up the possibility of another fight or two for Mike Tyson in his career, because they're going to want to see what he can do, who he can do it against. I think he's going to destroy Jake Paul. I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Tyson doesn't even sweat in the first round. Then he could just put on his suit and go to a club after he's done with that fight.
What will be is a I don't know how many rounds this fight is. I don't know if it's 5 rounds, 10 rounds, 12 rounds. I didn't see. Let's say it's a 10-round fight for the hell of it. If this is a 10-round decision, Mike Tyson wins. Is it impressive? If does he have to go out there and beat this guy in 2 rounds?
I think it'll be impressive if he wins the fight and it's a legit fight and you could tell it's a legit fight. I think it's an impressive win because he's going out there against somebody who's 30 years his junior.
Yep.
Somebody that hasn't fought in a while. He looks good in the videos that I've seen, but who else in the heavyweight division can stand up to him and give him any kind of a fight? Name somebody in the heavyweight division at this point in time.
I don't know the answer to that well enough. I'm sure there's but Mike Tyson in his prime was losing to Hammond Eggers. I know 57 years later the fire is there a little bit, but he's 57. To fight these younger kids. I mean, again, he was losing to Hammond Eggers in his 30s. Now you're 50-something years old, and you're going to go out there, even fighting, a Hammond Egger. Now I unless Mike has made a complete change in life, I can't imagine that he'd be able to compete. I mean, I'm hoping this is the one. I saw him fight Roy Jones Jr. and there was nothing there. Now I think that was a glorified sparring session, but to me, I'm hoping Mike goes out there, whips the shit out of his kid, and just walks away and doesn't think about coming back and fighting, 2 or 3 more fights against legit fighters.
I don't think that it's a matter of that he's thinking about fighting 2 or 3 other fights. I think that if he goes out, shows that he can fight, that the people are going to want to see exactly what he can do. Okay, Jake Paul is a YouTuber.
Yes.
Okay, a step above, a step below a Hammond Egger. How's that? All right. Yeah. I think he's doing it for him. It's a win-win situation. The only thing he has to worry about is that he doesn't get hit hard enough to go into a coma long term. Anything that happens to him is a boost for his career, especially if he makes it out of the second and third rounds. If he goes 4th, 5 rounds, it makes him look better. But
true,
I mean,
true.
People are going to see this, and if it is a decent fight, going to say, well, this is what he did against a YouTuber. But if he knocks him out 1, 2, 3, the people are going to say, well, let's see what he's got. Let's see what he can do. He still looks good. Come on, over there.
Listen, he's a name. If it's any sort of a decent 2 or 3 round fight, people will want to see it again. They'll be nostalgic for a decent fight and a huge name. But I watched the Roy Jones Jr. fight. I'll watch this one. Hopefully, we talked about watching this one together, so hopefully we'll do that. And
the Roy Jones fight, that was basically a glorified exhibition because they
Yes.
were trying to promote a different boxing league, I believe, at the time.
Yes, they were trying to like a Legends boxing league. Yes, that they never got
Yeah,
off the ground.
which would have been stupid to see anyway. This here, if they're not using headgear and if they're not using light gloves, there's a like 18-ounce gloves. Somebody said there's a whole bunch of things that could happen. Somebody said that Jake Paul was going to wear headgear, and then I
didn't
heard
see that. Okay.
Yeah, I'd heard that, but then supposedly it's not true.
Yeah,
So
well, that's good.
he's going into the fucking fight, one-on-one. I don't
like
know.
I said, July 20th in Dallas's football stadium. Mike Tyson reemerges after a long, lengthy layoff, and we'll see how he fares against Jake Paul. But if the training videos are anything like it should be, this is going to be an old-fashioned butt-whooping beatdown. And the only thing I'm glad is that Mike Tyson's not fighting a buddy of his, because then I wouldn't even bother. So this is a stranger, and hope he goes out there and just wrecks this kid.
If Mike Tyson, if he stretches this fight and it becomes a marathon, he may have a problem.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah. If I'm this kid, I'm tying him up and I'm running around the ring in a bicycle and tiring Tyson out, because you got to figure Tyson after 4 or 5 rounds is going to have nothing in those legs.
Dude, after watching some of the fucking workout videos, you better have a motorcycle, not a bicycle. Because if he catches you, man, oh my God.
His hands are fat. Boy, holy cow. Wow.
Yeah. It takes much of those, many hits of those to put that to a quick end.
Yeah, we'll see that. We'll talk. I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about between now and July. So thanks for tuning in, Hard Rock Sports. Hey, give me your thoughts on the Steelers and the crazy quarterback week. I mean, first they sign and bring in Russell Wilson. We all talk about it. Then they trade Kenny Pickett. I thought maybe they brought in Russell Wilson to tutor Kenny Pickett. Then next thing they'll trade Kenny Pickett gets traded to the Eagles, and then next thing you find out they're trading for Justin Fields. Jeff, crazy week in Pittsburgh. Have they turned into the Jets and the Giants?
If I'm Kenny Pickett, I think I would have rather stayed in Pittsburgh with Russell Wilson than Philadelphia with Jalen Hurts.
I agree.
There's a chance that you're going to play again real soon in Pittsburgh. Okay? and as far as Pittsburgh goes, if you're Russell Wilson, you're going like, all right, I'm the starter over here now. And now all of a sudden, the second coming of Christ in Justin Fields, so everybody's making it seem. Now he's got to be sitting there. I read something today that he might not be on the roster come training camp.
Come on.
That they may get rid of him.
Trade him? Well, let me ask you this. When did Justin Fields become a great quarterback? Because all I heard is that every team in the world should sign him. I said he's getting run out of Chicago faster, faster than Trump out of office on January 20th of 2020.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't understand it. I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard some New York guys talking about.
Your guess is just as good as mine. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy who they've been talking about for 2 years, drafting somebody to get rid of him. They've been trying to trade him forever. And it's got to be the best publicity stunt that I've ever seen, because all I've heard from people is, he's going to wind up on this team as the quarterback and just start on that team. He said he can't even start on the Bears. The Bears haven't had a quarterback since Jim McMahon. And the Giants are not going to draft J.J. McCarthy unless he slips into the second round. The Giants are drafting the best wide receiver available at that moment. Whichever guy's on the board, that's who the Giants are taking. They are not going to take J.J. McCarthy. I would be shocked. Asking me. Now, Jeff's mock drafts are telling him, I'm sure Jeff's mock drafts are telling him something different.
My mock draft? Don't worry about my mock draft. With that mock team of yours.
Oh, boy. Here we go. All right, so let's move on. I got a couple of football. Do you know the Jets are going to have new uniforms in this year? They're unveiling in April new uniforms. Didn't they just unveil new uniforms last year?
The Jets?
Yes.
Well, no. It was 3 years ago. You're allowed to come up with new uniforms every 3 years.
You don't have to, though. At some point, pick a uniform that works.
How about this? Let's get rid of you called Gang Green. They went out in white uniforms like all year last year. What the fuck was that?
That's true. Right? Yeah.
Come up with a black uniform, green numbers, silver around the outside or white around the outside, whatever it is you need to do. And come up with something different. Come up with something that people will be like, wow, that's really cool looking. Instead of the drab green, my dog had diarrhea out in the backyard green that they always have.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting.
Very true.
Those older uniforms don't like them.
I think they should go back to the the Joe Namath versions. I like that uniform better than anything else. Those are the best helmets.
Can't disagree.
Yeah. Frankie, I know there's a lot of talk about the McCarthy thing. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't. There's too many holes on that team to draft another quarterback. And while I think McCarthy's a good quarterback, I'm not sure. He didn't do a lot in college, didn't need to. And I think he's a smart player. To me, I think he's a real big reach there. To me, the Giants grab a guy second or third round, hopefully, or trade up into the end of the first round. But the first pick of that draft will be, for the Giants, my opinion, from the things I'm reading and the things I believe, the Giants will draft a wide receiver early on, unless they get a second pick. But
look at this guy, what he's saying. Look at what he's saying. Hope not. I want Denver to draft him. This is the same fucking guy that wanted
Russell Wilson
to go after Sam Darnold.
Yes.
This is clearly somebody suffering from mental exhaustion from having a puppy and has some serious psychotic issues. He has no idea what he's talking about.
Frank, I have to agree with Jeff on this one. You did want Russell Wilson. You have been pining for Sam Darnold, who's with the Minnesota Vikings now. So I can't imagine why anybody would want. You do need a quarterback. There's no doubt.
A quarterback that can fucking play.
Yeah, I think the problem for everybody is I think that this top of the draft, these guys are all questionable. Even Caleb Williams, and they got him as the next heir apparent to Patrick Mahomes. I watched the kid play, and I gotta tell you, I'm not impressed by any of these guys. Now I'm sure someone could turn to be a good quarterback. Penix has got health issues. McCarthy didn't do a lot in college. Caleb Williams did not have a great year this year. It was a good year. It wasn't great. So to me, you can grab a steal in the draft maybe. I like Drake May. If I was somebody and they had the ability to draft a quarterback in this, it would be Drake May out of North Carolina. I think he's the most pro-ready of all these guys, and I think he's got the best makeup that I've seen. So if I was going to draft a quarterback, that's the guy I'd be looking out for.
and Frank, now listen, speaking of your dog, no offense, but that poor dog. Look where it went from the pound to you. The guy that wants fucking Sam Darnold as his quarterback. Give me your address. I'm coming to rescue the dog. Never mind leaving the dog out there, man. That ain't right.
I got two more quick things before we wrap this up. Jeff, the Colts, there's a couple of rule proposals this year. Philly wants to get rid of have an option to the onside kick. And I think we've talked about it before, but they actually put it on paper and said that instead of the onside kick, a team should have the ability to run one play, 4th and 20 from their own 20-yard line. If they get it, they can keep the ball and keep going. If they don't, the other team gets the ball first and goal at the other team's 20. In lieu of the onside kick, people say it's a gimmick. I like this better than the onside kick. I think the onside kick is working less than 3% a season.
You know what I think they should do?
Go ahead.
Okay, here it is. Your game is over. You're tied at 21.
No, not tied. Give me one with score. You're down. You're down a touchdown. You're down 5 points, and you got an onside kick.
Why would you have to onside kick?
You're losing, right?
Oh, you have the onside kick. Yeah,
right.
But what I'm talking about, this isn't for overtime?
No. This is not for overtime. This is, let's say you're down 10 points. You score a touchdown, right? Yeah. You have no timeouts, and the only chance you have is an onside kick to get the ball back. And that's the only way you have a chance to keep the game alive.
Okay. So then why should you get the chance to do something like that when the other team's supposed to get the ball?
Well, what they're saying is that, then at that point, you have to go for a 4th and 20 from your own 20-yard line. So let's say you missed it. The other team would have the ball with a chance to either score another touchdown very easily or kick a field goal. Or ice the game at that point.
I don't know if I like that.
So you rather just keep the onside kick even though it doesn't work?
Well, no, it works some of the time. It doesn't work all of the time.
Doesn't work. To be honest with you, I'm not a big proponent of rule changes. You know, I'm like you. I'm old school. I like to keep the game the way it is and run it out. But I think every once in a while, the sport of the NFL needs a tweaking. Like, I tell you what, I think one of the best things they ever did was move the extra point back 15 yards, whatever it is. So now instead of being a 17-yard kick, it's a 33-yard kick. That isn't a guarantee. Guys are missing them left and right. I think that there are certain things that you could do once in a while to tweak it. And that's what
maybe tweaking it. But you know what? Did you ever see South Park where one
sure.
all of a sudden calls shenanigans?
No, I don't think I saw that one. No.
The whole town turns out they're in on it. Okay. So it's like me and you were talking about something I don't appreciate or don't agree with you, and I call shenanigans. Then you're like, what's shenanigans?
Yeah.
Shenanigans means you go like through this mock court and everything else. And then if you're found guilty, I forget everything that happened.
Sure.
Why don't they do that in football? There's 7 seconds left. You would have done an onside kick, but instead of that, your coach throws out the shenanigans flag. You just called shenanigans. So now you automatically get the ball back at the 50-yard line. And instead of going 1st and 10, it's now 1st and 8. Because you just called shenanigans.
Okay. I get it. I get it.
All of these things have to stop sooner or later. I think what they should do is just keep it as is, and that's it. Change overtime and make overtime a little different.
Well, again, I think they have it, and I like the playoff overtime rules. I think they've done a good job making it as fair as possible. But like I said, if you're going to tweak the game a little bit, to me, it's almost to the point where if you come back late, again, maybe you don't deserve to have a chance to win. You've been losing. You're losing the game. But to me, when you line up for an onside kick, 99% of the time, it's actually 98.8% of the time, it doesn't work. And I just say, hey, why not be for? I know one of the, I don't know if it's a UFL or the USFL, one of them had that rule in there, and it was much more exciting than that. But all right, I get your point. Last one is.
Keep going with this. I got to take a quick squirt.
Okay. When you come back, we'll end it. South Park great shows, much from Broncos. I was never a huge South Park fan. Simpsons, yes. I used to watch The Simpsons the first, 6 or 7 seasons. I probably was all over The Simpsons. But South Park never really got it. Loved Beavis and Butthead. Was a huge Beavis and Butthead fan. So, but Hard Rocket Sports, that's Jeff and I'm Tom, and we're going to wrap this show up in a minute or two. I got some plans this evening, so I'm going to be running out. But I wanted to do a show and catch up with you guys and talk a little about this. We talked about the Shohei Ohtani possible cover-up. There's talk of a cover-up at this point. Rangers playing great hockey. Knicks playing decent basketball. We're a week away from the start of the Major League Baseball season. Not a lot of excitement for the Mets. The Yankees, I don't know. I feel a lot better. Cole was getting to go out there every 5 days. Hopefully we'll get. I'm gonna bring up some panels. I'm gonna try to get Frankie Catalano, Paul Gill, a couple more baseball people, and do a panel. Right, maybe next Thursday. Frankie, up for coming on the show with a couple of the baseball guys and talking a little baseball either next week or the week after. I got to line it up, but I want to try to do that. We'll do the same thing before the football season. We'll try to get some football people on, but we'll do some. I want to do a baseball panel. We'll do that maybe the next couple of weeks. Jeff, last one for me.
I just want to jump on this one real quick. Sure. Why is it every year when something happens in the playoffs or near the end of the season and a team gets eliminated or they couldn't go forward because they ran out of time or something? The NFL feels as though that it has to come up with a different way to overtime.
Oh no, overtime is not being tweaked at all. I mean, I read all the proposals
and everything else. First, there's too many offside kicks being recovered. Now there's not enough offside kicks being recovered, and now we could do it 4th and 20. How many times is 4th and 20 converted as opposed to
I
recovered?
bet you it's a better percentage to complete a 21-yard pass or a 20-yard pass than it is to complete an onside kick. I guarantee it, even if it's 10% of the time.
Maybe onside kicks are recovered 7% of the times, and 4th and 20 are converted 8.6%.
Onside kicks were less than 3% converted last year. Less than 3%.
The 4th and 20.
4th and 20, I don't know. I have to look that up, but I guarantee there's a better percentage of completing a pass or a play of 4th and 20 than there is an onside kick. Much better.
And again, how many 4th and 20 passes are actually, if you're 4th and 20, most of the time you either punt the ball,
sure,
or the only time that you go for it is if you're down by fucking X amount of points.
Yeah, but you know what? The way this league is now, nobody punts anymore. So, but again, I think it's an interesting. I think it's an interesting conversation because again, I think the onside kick has outlived its usefulness at this point in time. But again, if you're old school, and I don't blame you on that one. I think you have a point on not making a change. It's rewarding the losing team.
Well, it's the possibility of rewarding the losing
Right.
team. But here's the thing: what more can you do? This is how the game is. They're worried about players getting hurt, so they got to change things. You know, it used to be years ago. You get the ball in overtime, for example.
Yeah.
Goal, you won the game. The other team didn't even touch the ball. Now it's like you go out, you get the ball, you kick a field goal. Now they get the ball back and they get a chance to fucking kick a touchdown. If they get a field goal, what is it? It keeps going. It's just unbelievable. Then why don't you just do this? You know what? The game is 4 15-minute quarters long. If you can't get the ball back, it's not our problem. You lost the game. You know, how many more chances are you going to get to possibly try to win the game?
Well, I think that's the point. Yeah, and that's a fair, valid point. It's a fair, valid point. So
you know, like when it comes to for like overtime, why don't you go in the locker room, let them take everything off, come back out in just your pants and shirt, and play flag football for 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Cut the field in half, cut the field, a 50-yard field, then cut it in half again, do 7-on-7, 5-on-5, and go out there. Instead of a straight-up pass rush, guy has to count 3 Mississippi. You know, I mean, come on. It's like, what more? You're pussifying the NFL.
I listen. I think that's long happened. I don't disagree. I think just trying to add a little bit more excitement to it, but I get your point. It's valid. May 8th, Jeff, big show for the Remorons. Anything else new coming up?
Nah, nothing right now. Nothing right now, unfortunately. That's where we stand.
Don't you guys? You and the Grazianos, don't you guys do the big opening festival at Richmond Town? Isn't that the staple in the thing? Isn't that Memorial Day weekend?
Which one?
The Richmond Town. Doesn't they have the big fair?
Richmond Town, we do it in
September?
Labor Day.
Oh, it's Labor Day. Okay.
But what we should be doing is I know that Bill's been doing it for several years now, the food truck festival at Mount Loretto.
Correct. Yes. Okay.
That's a pretty cool one. That one seems to get bigger every year.
Oh, that's nice. I went to one of those very early on. I think the American Cover Story played it. And at the time, I think my wife and my mother-in-law, we went out to see that one. That might have been during COVID, if I'm not mistaken, right before COVID, one or the other. But so nothing else going on, nothing new band-wise.
No, sadly, man. I would just looking forward, hopefully, that we get our thing underway.
April 13th.
Yeah, it's that April 13th.
That is the date, April 13th. As far as Jimmy forgot it was Easter weekend, so that got postponed. And then I think Ronnie or somebody was busy on the Saturday after, so I believe it's April 13th. We will be getting together. I've been working hard practicing, so I'm looking forward to getting together for that one. And then you got the big card game coming up and a lot of other stuff going on.
Looking forward to that.
Me too. Absolutely looking forward to that. So let's wrap this up. We'll be back next week to do this all over again. I'll be back home and back in the studio, and we'll do a proper show. But for now, I'm going to go enjoy a nice night out on the Florida streets, and I'm going to come home and maybe watch a 1954 version of Godzilla when I get back later on. So, and Jeff, and if any other movie choices hit your tubes, please let me know, because the first one was an absolute thriller.
Yeah, I was lucky to find it, Tom.
Yep.
Lucky to find it.
If you get lucky again, let me know. I'm always looking for a good one. I've been watching reruns of F Troop all week.
Oh boy.
Yes.
You know what? I believe that whole entire series is gone. The whole cast of that series is dead.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I think actually Larry Storch, Aegon, was around not too long ago. In his late 90s. Late 90s. He was 98. Yeah. He was 98 or 99, just a couple years back. So
a couple years back. Just a couple months back.
Yeah, it's probably this past year. Yeah.
Yeah, he died within the year. The rest of the cast is gone.
Yeah. For a funny show. So if you get a chance to find it on your TVs, watch it. In the meantime, guys, we'll wrap it up. Good night, Frankie Catalano. Good night, Paul and Louie and Adam Hines and everybody. And Adam Hines, great videos. Thank you for sending it to me. I've been trying to find a way to break them down and get them on the air, which I will do sometime over the weekend, maybe for the next show. But thank you very much to everybody who tuned in and listened. And I thank you all for joining Jeff and I for a few minutes of sports talk. Thanks to Carmine and my dad. And we'll wrap it up that way and say, so for Jeff and myself, you guys have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week, a great weekend, and a great week. And we'll see you back here next Thursday when Jeff and I get to do this all over again. So everybody here at Hard Rock and Sports, have a great night, everybody. Hefe, I'll talk to you off the air.
All right, man. You got it, bro. Be good.
All right, my man. Talk to you soon.
Later.